Hello guys, welcome back. I do apologise, the stream did go down, and we've come back and Zekan is out. I think that might have been a retirement in the pits because of the early incident, but we are back racing again. So I'm gonna, as you can see, that everything looks all good here. So we have Red Van in first, Robertson in second, Bray on fire in third. We've got Josh Bacon in fourth, Harry Bosworth, who's now in fifth. Unusual Gamer battled his way up to sixth. We've got Get Carter in seventh, Jamie in eighth, Morgan Fan in ninth, David in 10th, Fozzie in 11th, and Molitori in 12th. Now, respect to Molitori, who he has basically jumped out to send me an invite, so did Harry Bosworth, which I do appreciate, so thank you very much, guys. Got me back in the server so I can continue this stream. Which is fantastic because it means I will be able to continue broadcasting to you guys and commentating on this. And I think I can understand why. Basically, what it is that when when I'm logged in as a moderator into the YouTube channel, if they decide to jump on and try to make an amendment to the live footage, it kicks me out. So that is the reason why. Hopefully by next season I'll have everything myself, so I can actually have the TNE stamp marked on it already. So Get Carter has a penalty. What was that penalty? Wonder what that penalty's for. It's a 3-second penalty, so be interesting how that goes. Fozzie, who's pitted for a set of medium tyres. He hasn't, so he's Zekan pitted. And Molitori's pitted for a set of hard tyres, which David speeding the pit lane. I don't understand how anybody can speed in the pit lane. It's a pit lane that you got to go slow into coming into. You slow right down to come around that corner, so why on earth are you still speeding? I really don't understand it. So the questions now start to rise where you're thinking like, who's going to win? Who's got on the perfect strategy right now? At the moment, it's hard to tell because all the drivers from first to ninth are on the soft tyres, where we have Fozzie doing well on the medium tyres, David on mediums, and who's on a fresh set of mediums, and Molitori on a fresh set of soft tyres. So it'll be quite interesting to see how that pans out for these drivers. So I've not got much to say about Sochi. Obviously, I've said like designed by Herman Tilke back in 2011. Work started pretty much right after the design was agreed, and then 3 years later it was opened. Opened just in time for the Winter Olympics at Sochi itself. So, over the years, Russia has been attempting to have a circuit built ready for a circuit and a Grand Prix designed for them since 1983. One of it was like the Russian Grand Prix is what it's named for, but they wanted a Grand Prix of the Soviet Union, back in 1983, and it was abandoned for bureaucratic reasons. Basically, they did not want to promote communism. That is the whole reason why there wasn't an earlier Russian Grand Prix circuit. Which, it's quite unfortunate, but then what would the circuit have been like? It wouldn't have been designed by Herman Tilke. The German would not have got that job back in 1983. So that would have been really interesting to see what the idea would have been. Would it have been at Sochi? Probably not. It probably would have been at St. Petersburg, or well, would have been Leningrad then, or Stalingrad, which is Moscow now. So I would love to have seen the original designs and where they would have been. I think we might have found a little hidden gem there, because if they wanted to build their own purpose-built circuit, Russia has all that land. There's potato farming. That would have been perfect to build a circuit on. So yeah, it's it would be interesting if Izzy was on board on it. She would have basically gone and thought, you know what, I'm have a little look and find out information about the old style Russian Grand Prix from ideas. But here's there was a Russian Grand Prix back in 1913 and 1914 at St. Petersburg, which was the capital. First race was won by Russian driver Georgy Sorovin, whilst German Willy Scholl won the second event. The race stopped. The original Russian Grand Prix stopped due to the First World War and the Russian Civil War, and it wasn't resumed under the Soviet Union. So, but like, I think the guy who came second in Vedran is glitching all over the place. As we are coming in the pit and lap 9, so they're going for the long stint on the medium tyres by the looks of these two drivers. I'd go off another lap, I really would. So the guy who came second in the 1913 race, I've got to think that he is the best named driver. We've got Izzy. Izzy, thanks very much for joining us. So it's the person that came second in the 1913 race was called Ivanov. So I just think that name's amazing. Ivanov. It's a brilliant name. It just basically means Ivan, son of Ivan, which is it's common way of common names for Russians in from basically the 1960s all the way back to, you talk about the 1500s, that the son's names will be the same as the father's name. Izzy saying that she got distracted. Obviously, Izzy's one of these people that when she comes in, she comes in and gives us a little bit of a helping hand, especially when I'm on my own like this. Drops in a few facts, and then like just basically kind of cheers me up a bit as well, because it's been a long, boring race so far. Where the most action I've seen is Vedran there glitching all over the place, but Harry Bosworth is getting close to Bray on fire. Now, the undercut did not work very well for Unusual Gamer trying to get into the top 4, but it does give him a nice healthy position in 5th right now. But can Bray on Fire defend from Harry Bosworth? We know Harry Bosworth has been doing so well since coming up from Tier 3. So yeah, we're just well, Izzy, what we'll do is just talk about the past of the Russian Grand Prix. So basically about the fact that they tried to get a Russian Grand Prix back in since 1983. Didn't manage to do anything until 2011. With 2014 it was actually officiated. Talked about the old circuit at the old race at St. Petersburg in 1913 and 1914, which I've got to say they were those old circuits were pretty much the toughest circuits around. So you've got to think there was 100-year gap between the old races and the new races. 100 years, that's an outstanding amount of time. But you got to think F1's only been F1 as a World Championship has only been around for 70 years. So this was an F1 race before there was a World Championship. So the Sochi Autodrome race control building has a video control system with real-time full HD technology consisting of 56 screens. The video surveillance system is based on a 45-speed dome trackside cameras. It is the only Russian circuit that operates all year round. As she says, Sochi Autodrome is the first and only circuit hosting the Formula 1 Russian Grand Prix. Well, as part of the World Championship, that would be. But Izzy, thanks for that information. Pre-World Championship, there was the 1913 and 1914 races at St. Petersburg, which Tsar Nicholas II was a big motorsport fan. He absolutely. If it wasn't for World War One and the Russian Civil War, we would have seen more Russian races happening over there. So we've got Braille Fire slipped down now. Harry Bosworth did make the move on him, and so is Unusual Gamers. Unusual Gamers making the most of those fresh medium tyres. Braille Fire does seem to be struggling slightly on it, but he is building the gap away from Josh Bacon. You can see from Josh's cockpit, you can see that those cars are not that far away visually, but effectively it's not like he's going to be catching up with them very soon, as Jamie is slowly catching up to Josh. So we could see a battle in the next 10 laps between these two drivers here, Josh Bacon and Jamie. Fozzie also throwing his hat in the mix there, but he is consistently about 5.5 seconds up behind Jamie, but does slowly bring it down a notch or two there. So Fozzie could be causing an upset. David Dan 11 Molotov, who's not really done made any moves up, just seems to be slowly losing it as David is getting closer and closer to get caught. Bit squiggly there on those hard tires. Those hard tires are going to be so tough right at this moment. They don't get into themselves until 5 laps in, and that's when they start getting a bit softer and they start performing more like a medium tire than the hards. And as the medium tyres do start to fade, those hard tyres just get stronger and stronger right until the end of the race. So Unusual Gamer is now getting so close to Harry Bosworth. And what he's done is Unusual Gamer has done is he's brought Bray on Fire in for the party too. So these two are going to double team Harry Bosworth. Bray on Fire does pick up a 3-second time penalty. Unusual Gamer sitting there with no penalties at the moment, and Vedran, although he has had some glitching moments, seems to be doing quite well. So the first ever race around Sochi, the inaugural event, was held in 12th of October 2014, won by Lewis Hamilton, followed by Nico Rosberg, and then Valtteri Bottas when he was in the Williams. So it was a Mercedes 1-2-3 really, because Bottas was looked at to be a Mercedes effective driver really. At that time when the race was first held, it was the Mercedes finish in 1-2 also saw them claim their first ever constructors title in Formula 1 under the modern era. So So like, I think the most eventful race I've ever seen coming from Russia was in 2015. Now you had Carlos Sainz crashing out in third practice. You also had Nico Rosberg, who got pole in qualifying, retire early in the race due to faulty accelerator. It was also there was so Lewis Hamilton won that, followed by Sebastian Vettel, and it was Sergio Perez who got third. But if I remember rightly, Sergio Perez only got third because Kimi Raikkonen and Bottas crashed while battling for third, so they crashed out on the final lap, and Sergio Perez got it. So you can see, like, back then, Sergio Perez in a car that wasn't performing well, doing well. Not doing so well in the Red Bull at the moment, but the Red Bull is Max's car. It's designed for Max, not for anybody else. So they need a Max 0.2 to jump in that car with him. And Izzy's throwing another comment there. So basically reiterate and putting a bit more padding on what I said earlier. The construction of the Sochi Olympic Park race circuit marked the end of a 30-year campaign for a Russian Grand Prix with plans for the Grand Prix of the Soviet Union originating as early as 1983. Which is exactly what was said earlier, which is fantastic. I do love it when Izzy jumps in with these facts. So this is Red Bull designed the car for Max the same way they did for Seb. They do it to suit the driving style, which is correct. Most teams do design the car to go to favour the most likely to the drivers that are most likely to win. Now, I was hoping that Perez was able to jump in that car and do well. I wanted Max to have that teammate to step it up. He is doing better than Alex Albon, yes, but Max needs that better wingman. Honestly, Red Bull should have brought in Kimi Raikkonen. Kimi Raikkonen in a Red Bull will be the fantastic wingman for Max Verstappen, because he will push Max all the way through. Danny Ricciardo was the only man to challenge Max in his F1 career. Absolutely, and you know what what happened to him for that? He basically got shunned. Alright, so yeah, it's... Sorry guys, I was just looking at something there. So I'm just looking at the abilities of these drivers. So Vedran up at first with some glitchy moments, especially at the start. We've seen him jumping forward. It was quite bizarre. Robertson doing really well in second, Harry Bosworth in third, Usual Gamer in fourth. So, oh, Braille finally managed to get past Unusual Gamer. Has Unusual Gamer got... Yeah, Unusual Gamer has got severe damage to that front left wing, which means he'll come into the pits now. He will have to make sure he gets out quick enough to make sure he does not lose all the way down into 8th. The chances of Morgan Fan actually overtaking him are quite high. But let's see how... let's stay on board with Morgan Fan and watch him going around as he does try and take that 8th spot, so 7th spot from Unusual Gamer, who's just jumped into the pits now. So, Izzy, I know you're a Red Bull fan. Which driver would you pick to be Max Verstappen's wingman? So, Morgan fan does pick up 7th there. As Fozzie does make that move past David, putting David down into 10th. Seb. She says Seb. Now, that would be interesting. Would Seb go back to the way he was when he was at Red Bull, where he was... Put my man back in Red Bull and watch him shine. Well, you do know he's married with 2 kids. I'll tell you what. I've been watching David driving. And it looks like he's not actually attempting to make some of those corners. Okay, 3 kids, but whatever. Okay, sorry, I missed the kid off. I knew I thought it was only 2, but he's got 3. Okay. I don't know much about his personal life. I knew he had at least a couple of kids. Right. Quick question: are you seeing what I'm seeing here with David? Is he not attempting to make those corners? Two daughters and a son, so she knows him very well. Then, obviously, she's a bit of a she's a big fan of Seb. And I'll be honest, right now, my thoughts about Sebastian Vettel are this. Okay, I think he's a fantastic driver. I really do. I think he's one of the best drivers. David, the stewards are watching. Yeah, they are watching. I'm surprised he hasn't picked up penalties already, but that has been 3 laps. He's not even attempted at all. I think he's worked out that he can run the curbs further, but that is not how you drive at all. He's just not really attempting to make any. And he's not slowing down for some of the corners. He's just letting the car run wide. So I'm sorry, that's not a hard corner to get right. So it needs to be. Yeah, we'll get off that. We'll see how our front battles though. So Harvey Bosworth with 6 seconds penalties. He probably will lose to Robertson if Robertson stays within the 3-second gap behind him. But Josh Bacon, who is closing down slowly to Bray on Fire, could start to upset the party up ahead. Now let's go back to Sebastian Vettel. Now Vettel for me is a driver that one of the best, like I said, absolutely fantastic. I'm not a fan. I don't hate him as much as I hate. Don't hate him as a driver as much as I hate Alonso. I can't stand Alonso one bit. But I liked seeing Sebastian Vettel lose when he was at Ferrari, and I think that is just me not liking Ferrari more than not liking Sebastian Vettel. But I like Kimi Räikkönen even when he was at Ferrari, and I wanted him to do well. So it was like when Kimi Räikkönen was at Ferrari, it was like, yeah, I want him to do well, but then it's Ferrari, and I don't want Ferrari to do well, but then I do want Ferrari to be at the front. But it's like, I want Ferrari to be the competition, but I want Ferrari to be beaten. Guys will fall out because of this. Well, because I don't like I didn't like Sebastian. She hates Ferrari too, but I didn't like Seb when he was at Ferrari. I thought he was pompous. But I think that's the way the Ferrari wants their drivers to be. Ever since when he was at Red Bull, I couldn't complain about him. I didn't have a thing against him. Absolutely epic driver. Where for the first year he was in that car was not the best car. Or that season when that first season he won the drivers' championship, it really wasn't the best car. But he made it the best car because he was the best driver by far on that grid at that time. His biggest mistake was going to Ferrari, but when Ferrari come calling, it's very tough to say no unless you're sitting there on £40 million a year with a Mercedes badge stamped on it. But yeah, I think it's the Ferrari thing that more I don't like. Vettel. Now he's gone to Aston Martin. I don't mind him at all. But then I am gutted that he's not battling at the front yet. And I say yet because he will. He'll get back. I want Seb to get back up there at the top. I want to see him put that Aston Martin in front of Ferraris. So let's have a little rundown of the order as it stands. So we've got Vedran in first, Harry Bosworth in second, Robertson in third, Brian Fire in fourth, Josh Bacon in fifth, Jamie in sixth. We've got Unusual Game in seventh, Morgan Fan in eighth, Fozzie in ninth, Molitori in 10th, and David has DNF'd, which means I think he retired in the pits. So yeah, it's the Formula One allure is the Ferrari. It is the biggest name in F1. It's the team that people go like, if you know you've made it if you've driven a Ferrari. But then, do you want to drive a car that's not meeting its mark? Ferrari should be the one should be one of the cars at the front. It should be winning races. I think the team that they've got now is really strong. I like Charles Leclerc and I like Carlos Sainz. Still don't like Ferrari. As you just seen Vedran with his little glitchy car. Now I'm going to call Vedran Vanellope Von Sweets. From now on, it's going to be Vanellope Von Sweets. Due to how glitchy that car is at times. So yeah, I'm just having a little casual look to see. We're on lap 24 of 27. It's felt like it's been a very long race. And let's have a look at the leader gap. So Harry Bosworth is 6 seconds behind. He's got effectively 12 seconds behind Vedran. We've got Robertson, who is who is 11 seconds behind, effectively. Izzy's just, I think Vedran might need to be promoted here. Well, yes, Vedran does need to be promoted, but he also needs a bit, I think, a more stable connection. But he is so much quicker than the rest of the drivers. Which is great for him because he does deserve to be up into tier 1 and challenging drivers like Valkyo, Hobo, that have moved up before him, Freedom. So we are on. Well, we've got 2 more laps. Sorry, 3 more laps to go. Let's have a look. There's not a lot of battles going on right now. Vedran, I think Vedran's slowed down. I think he's just being a bit more comfortable now, going to the finish. So yeah, I do apologise when it goes a bit quiet. So what I'm going to do is let's give a honorary lap to Vedran as he does finish off this race. And that's the end of that race there, as we are getting all the information back up. So that's Vedran takes the win, Robertson in third, second, Harry Bosworth in third. We have Bray on fire who comes over in fourth. Josh Bacon just jump him there to get to fourth, so Bray on fire is in fifth. Jamie coming around the final few corners now. He will take sixth. As Unusual Gamer will take seventh. As he does the usual. Unusual Gamer does the usual thing as spins out and crashes on purpose. Right across the line as Morkan Fan comes around the final 2 corners. Is he going to join the party as well? And spin it? No, it looks like he took that very carefully there. We got Fozzie. who's looks like he's just taking it carefully around the last few corners. Hops that corner, crosses the line with Molotore taking up the rear. And that's the end of that race there. And he does clip the stricken car that's been left. So the unusual, I can agree with the unusual gamer being the driver of the day. He's had put in a very good performance today. So let's have a final rundown of the grid. Let's get rid of that there. You don't need to see that. So we've got Vedran in first, we've got Robertson in second, Harvey Bosworth in third, Josh Bacon in fourth, Braille Fire in fifth, Jamie in sixth. We've got Unusual Gamer in seventh with the fastest lap. We have Morgan Fan in eighth, Fozzie in ninth, Molotore in 10th, David and Get Carter and Zakan all retiring from the race. Zakan 10 more damage, so he must have crashed out. There's not many warnings for drivers. What I'm going to have to do now is I'm going to see if I can invite these few drivers to the party for an interview. Bear with me while I do Okay, so we do have Harry Bosworth and Robertson, who have both joined us for interviews. We are waiting for Verdan, but we can continue until he does join us. Oh, he has joined us. That's fantastic. Can you all hear me, guys? Okay, so it's a little bit of crackling there by one person, but don't worry about it. We'll carry on. So we're going to start with Harry Bosworth. Harry, a good performance from yourself. You've had some good battles. A battle that I did see it was between you and Tom Braybray on fire, which was fantastic. So tell me, how do you feel your race went?
Well, the start went quite bad because I dropped from 4th to 6th before the first corner because I had a bad start. And then my aim was to slowly make my way back up, and I ended up finishing second, but got dropped down to third because of the penalties, what was annoying.
Yeah, you picked up 6 seconds penalties, and obviously Robertson only picked up 3, so that made a massive difference. So, what was it? One particular corner that you kept getting wrong?
I think I was just running wide on multiple corners.
I think
that was mostly it.
Yeah, I completely get that. It's a tough circuit. It's very easy to get it wrong. Did you feel like the strategy worked well for you, the tyre strategy?
The strategy went quite well. I think my tyre's on 55% at the end.
Oh, that's not too bad at all then.
I tried to do an undercut on Bray on fire, but I got slowed down in the pit, having to wait for another car to get past, so that didn't work out.
No. It's always the way, isn't it, when that happens? So you feel like you're gonna get some. You're gonna get some good points here. So how are you feeling about for the championship battle? You feel like is there anybody there that you wanted to beat?
Well, I'm hoping to win, but I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to have to consistently win or get in podiums most races.
Well, to be honest, you've before this race you're on 86. Josh Bacon is on 138. So you're not that far off, really. Especially that the only the driver that beat you, Robertson, is he is 27 points behind you. So you've got some gap really to your next competitor. So you've got a good chance to be battling there for the top at the end of this championship. So yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. So next week is at Japan. How do you feel about
that? It's my least favourite track, so I'm going to have to put a lot of practice in for it.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I do like Japan, but I think I'm terrible at it. So I will be doing the same thing, practicing it ready for Thursday. But absolutely brilliant. Obviously, I haven't got Carlos here who comes up with some amazing questions. But thank you for joining us and congratulations on your podium. So well done.
Thanks.
So we're going to jump across right to Robertson. Robert, so how do you feel that race went for you, mate? It was a very good race from yourself. Obviously, the penalties for Harry did really help you to get the P2, which does help your championship battle, considering that you started quite late along with Harry. So the fact that you've both come in and you've started doing really well is brilliant to see. Are you hoping to be getting to get up there soon to the top battle in the championship? We've got 6 more races after this one. No, that's fair. I do like the realistic thought there, but you are, like I said, you were 27 points behind a Harry before this race. If this form continues, you could be seeing yourself up in the top 3. Yeah. Well, hopefully we get to speak to you again next week at Japan. So, is that one of your stronger races, or do you think you need to do a lot of practice for that? Yeah. Oh, absolutely brilliant. Oh, well, thank you very much for that. I'm glad you joined us, and congratulations on 2nd place. So we've got Vedran. Absolutely fantastic performance.
Yeah, thank you.
How do you feel about the race?
I mean, the quali didn't go as planned. I didn't get the pole position, but the start was fast. I wasn't quite the quickest guy through the race, but I kept it clean, and I got the P1. So
yeah, well, you say you weren't the quickest, yeah, which the fastest lap did go to Unusual Gamer, but then you've also got to think that you were consistently quick. You were putting out some absolutely fantastic lap times. So it's more about the consistency. So I heard a little rumor that there is thoughts of you moving up to tier 1 straight away, because
I don't know about that.
you have got the pace. You are your time is matching tier 1 ability. Obviously the gap between tier 2 and tier 1 is not a lot. It's only a few seconds. So I'm sure you'll be able to do, if you do move up to tier 1. I'm sure you'll be able to do that, no problem. I will be honest, I didn't see much of your race. I seen your big start, which was a fantastic start. But it did look like you were like Vanellope von Sweets from Wreck-It Ralph, a little bit glitchy for us, and you just kind of jumped like ahead, like a bit like Back to the Future, just flashing it forward. But no, I just think it was just a misconnection between yourself and the host. But absolutely fantastic, very clean race from yourself. How do you feel about Japan?
I don't know if I'll be able to race there. I don't know.
You're unavailable then?
I don't know.
Well, we hope to see a race, even if it is if it's with us or with tier 1. But I do hope to see a race at Japan.
Yeah.
But like,
this is actually my least favorite track.
Oh, Japan is? Or
no, this one.
Oh, it's my second least favorite track, so I'm kind of on board with it.
In there with Russia.
Oh no, my worst one's USA. I can't stand it. But no, absolutely fantastic. I'm going to say again, congratulations to our top 3 guys. Absolutely fantastic performance. Congratulations to Unusual Gamer getting the the fastest lap and driver of the day. Absolutely fantastic performance from him. So thanks to everybody who's commented, liked, subscribed to the channel, followed. I really much appreciate it. Until next week, then good night.